Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. We're going to talk about corporations today, and I think it's very important to talk about it because in the past I've shared with you that I have multiple corporations, and there is one gentleman that I got to know way back in 2004. He's the reason why I got to meet Robert Kiyosaki. He's written many books on corporations, and there is a warning he has about some changes in the law right now. So I am with Garrett Sutton. Garrett, how are you doing?
Great. Good to be with you, Travis.
Awesome. I learned about Garrett Sutton from a book that was given to me by my grandfather, and it was Own Your Own Corporation. I read the book, absolutely loved it, and then I didn't stop. And Garrett owns a company called Corporate Direct. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but we're going to get right to the nitty gritty of this. We're talking about the Corporate Transparency Act. Garrett, can you start filling us in of how big of a deal this is?
Well, it's a really big deal, Travis. It affects every single corporation and LLC in the country. And the idea is that the U.S. Treasury Department wants to combat money laundering. And the way they feel the best way to do that is to require every corporation and LLC to disclose who the beneficial owners are, people who own 25% or more of the entity, and who has substantial control over that entity. And they want this information filed every single year. And let's say you have 100% ownership in a LLC, Travis. If you sell 25% or more to a friend or a relative, you have to report that change within 14 days. So not only do you have to file this information every single year, but if there are changes, you have to file within 14 days. This is a huge burden on everybody. The rules aren't final yet, but Corporate Direct is monitoring this, and it's the law. We have to follow the law if we like it or not. And we're going to provide a service whereby we will assist people with this. But it's important to know what's coming, and it's coming this year.
Now, I think this is a really good point to make because I didn't hear about this from either of my two CPAs. I heard about it from Garrett. And there is a reason why we have multiple people in our chain of command, let's say, when you're running a company. And it's good to have tax advisors, CPAs, good lawyers in your team advising you the best way possible. And so I've talked about this before, and I'm going to get to why I do business with Corporate Direct just real quick before we go deeper into this topic. Corporate Direct, I've had do over 5 corporations now, between corporations and LLCs for me. And I love their service because their prices are right and they monitor these kind of things. Now, Garrett, you said that you're going to be monitoring the situation, waiting till this is all finalized. And then there's a way of Corporate Direct taking care of this for your current and new clients, correct?
That's correct. It is a requirement, and most of our clients, they're busy doing many other things. They're investing in real estate. They're running their business. They don't have the time to figure out this law and report it all the time. So like our registered agent service, another law that we help people follow, we're going to be able to provide people with the service to comply with the Corporate Transparency Act. Now, the regulations aren't final yet. They'll probably be final sometime in the fall. I'm very skeptical, so it'll probably be after the midterm elections, actually. So, because everything's politics now. Yeah. But you will have to file this on an annual basis. And let's say, Travis, you have a Wyoming LLC and your interest is held through a Nevada LLC. We're going to have to provide information on the Wyoming LLC. We'll have to provide information on the Wyoming LLC, the Nevada LLC. We're going to have to get all the way down to the beneficial individual owners. That's what the Treasury Department wants to get at. Who are the individuals who own these LLCs and corporations? So it's going to be a lot of work.
I'm glad that you brought up the multi-corporate sort of structure, because there's a lot of strategy when it comes to owning a corporation or an LLC that most people don't think about. They just think, hey, I'm opening a corp or an LLC or an LLP and I'm good to go. But you actually specialize in all kinds of different ways of forming multi-state, multi-corporate ownership too, correct?
That's correct. We like using Nevada and Wyoming LLCs. They offer great asset protection. Their state laws are favorable, along with Delaware and Alaska and South Dakota. After the revolution, they wanted to have one national corporate law, but each state said, no, we want to take control of our own state's corporate law, which is great for all of us because now the states compete to be the best. And Nevada and Wyoming are at the top of the list. So we will use Nevada and Wyoming entities as holding entities. And then if you're doing business in California or Mississippi or wherever you are, we'll have an LLC or a corporation in the state where you're doing business. But we do combine various LLCs to get you the maximum asset protection.
Nice. Now, I've got a coupon code in the description below and in the comment section, just so you guys know, that gives you a free consultation, 15 minutes, plus $100 off if you choose to use their service. But you actually do registered agent services and setting up any type of, or not any type of entity, but corporations, LLCs, through all of America, right? All of the states?
We are able to serve our clients in all 50 states, yes.
Okay. And the reason why, again, guys, I wanted to bring you this sort of warning, because the government doesn't care if you don't know the law. Your job is to stay on top of it, and you need good people in your corner. And I have Corporate Direct helping me stay on top of this. Now, not only have I had them set up multiple entities, I've also brought in an entity that a s-corp that I had in California, and they started working on adjusting the corporate documents, the shares and things like that at a very low rate. I want to explain that because Garrett, you have a lot of great people, paralegals working on your team, and you don't charge the standard rate that a lot of attorneys would charge per hour.
No, we don't. You bring up a great point, Travis. We have a great team. I couldn't do it without the team that we have. They're all very well trained, and I don't let them answer legal questions, but they are very good at getting things done. And we do offer a very affordable rate because, part of the Rich Dad message is that people need this financial education, and we provide the education and the service at an affordable rate.
And it sounds funny. I don't want this to sound like a commercial, because what you're getting is a coupon that gives you a discount. But I think it's very important that you know this is the company I have chosen to use, and I love their services. So I want to bring value to you guys. If you need to set up an entity, or if you have an entity already that you need work done on, I would challenge you to reach out to them. But what I would challenge you first, and Garrett, I don't want to just give away you probably have a new book, but Own Your Own Corporation was a great book. It's one of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad books in the series. And I tell people, read the book that's written by the man that owns the company. And then when you have a conversation with the people at Corporate Direct, you already have 9/10 of your questions answered. And then you could do these pinpoint questions to really get down to the nitty gritty, right?
Absolutely. And so in the book, it's now called Start Your Own Corporation. And then we have a companion, Run Your Own Corporation. We want you to understand the elements. They don't teach them in school, unfortunately. I wish they did. I think kids would stay in school if we had more interesting topics. But I wish they would teach financial education in the schools, but they don't. So you have to get this information on your own. And in Start Your Own Corporation and the other books, we tell stories. We help people understand the legal principles through stories. And then when you talk to an incorporating specialist at Corporate Direct, you're on second base ready to score. You don't need a lot of education, background education, because we've given that to you in the book.
Yeah. So I want to, maybe we should keep this going in the future with these little videos, because I want to be able to start really teaching people why it's important to incorporate, to secure their assets legally, and then enjoy some tax benefits from it as well. In closing, is there anything you want to close with as far as the Corporate Transparency Act that we might want to know, or how to follow you better?
Well, Travis, we keep writing about it in our newsletters. So if you go to corporatedirect.com and subscribe to the newsletter, we're constantly updating our clients on what's happening. We can expect the final regulations sometime this year. And then once the regulations become final, if you form an entity after that date, you've got 14 days to report the information. If you have already formed an entity, and this is maybe a reason to form one in the early part of the year, you've got another year to file the information. So that could be a good reason for setting that entity up sooner rather than later.
That's perfect. All right, guys. So make sure you sign up for the newsletter, stay on top of that. And then if you want the coupon code for the free consultation and the $100 off, check it out. It'll be in the description below. Thank you so much, Garrett. And with that being said, the Economic Ninja is out.